Welcome back, everybody. Let's have a look at our journey with XRP and our new little journey with SXP and what's going on with both of those. But before we do that, we've got to look at BTC. You're always going to have a look at Bitcoin because Bitcoin dictates the trend, right? We all know that. So let's have a look at a look at all of this, okay, shall we? So Bitcoin here on the daily, a massive zoom out here all the way back to the parabolic top 2.5 years ago. So what I've done here is I've drawn in a trend line here, which is both support and resistance, and it's a little bit rough, but what it's telling us here is that actually the level that we're at right now, and this is rough, the level of around about 6,000, if only 6,000, 11,550, but that, to be honest, I feel like it's a little higher than that. The trend line's not exact, it's not perfect. I'll pop it up a little bit here, but you can see that roughly it corresponds to here, 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 and here actually, and here, here. You could say I dropped down from here, here, here. So what I'm getting at is support resistance historically, okay? So it's a long trend line, and trend lines of that magnitude generally account for something. So what I'm saying is that roughly speaking, I believe we're at a resistance now. Probably we've gone so far so fast with the Bitcoin that I think it's time that it does get rejected. Now, if it does get rejected, it could come all the way back down to the CME gap, which is roughly around about 9,600. So that's a big drop. That's a drop to pretty much where we launched from, and we'll measure that move all the way down to 9,600. There's 18% drop, right? Actually, if that were to do it next week, that would be kind of turn into what I would be looking to happen to confirm the trend, because what I'd like to see is it to come down to test this trend line to show that it's a support, and this isn't just a big FOMO bull blah blah blah, and that actually it can confirm that we are above this. If we come down to test it, 9,600 is just a little bit below it, but over the next few days into next week, if it were to come down to test that, that would be okay. It would still be above the trend. So that's what I'm thinking with Bitcoin. I'm thinking that this might be the top for now, and it's going to have to come down, and that means that everything else is going to probably come down with it, including the shockingly strong XRP and the, well, depends how you want to call SXP, but we'll have a look at that now. So that's Bitcoin out of the way. That's my general idea of what's likely to happen with Bitcoin. Now, if that resistance does break, then yeah, we're up and away. There's no reason to say that we can't go higher. We'll have a look at the some of these other details. The RSI is very high right now. Let's just have a look at this historically. So it can obviously go higher, but I wouldn't advise it were to do it, but it can clearly go higher if it wants to. Same with the money flow index, there's plenty of room for that to move. So that's that out of the way. There's a chance it could break, and then I'd probably see another $1,000 or more move before it actually comes down at that point. But with SXP, what's going on with that there? So we got into this move yesterday, or I did anyway, and I said I was going to keep it for a long-term hold. That's the plan, because I'm trading it only on the basis of fundamentals, which isn't really a trade, and it's an investment. That's not normally the sort of thing I would do, but I am doing it on this occasion. So, but what we do have to go by is this chart, which I can only really use on an hourly, because it's such a new chart that even the 4 hourly, which is the minimum of what I'd normally trade on, looks there's nothing to go by. There's really nothing on this to go by. And it's been so volatile that it's not very. It wouldn't be right to even go on that. So with the 1 hourly, what we're looking at here is we had a big move up, a massive move, and then a lot of people taking profits just above the just below the $2 mark, which is fine. I think when people saw that it's not going to reach that level, they were all taking profits too, and probably shorting it as well. There's a lot of money to be made on something so volatile. So this is the trading range that we're in, and actually we've broken down beneath the support, the resistance, which would have been nice to turn to support. So this area here in this blue box is $1.78 to $1.88. So that is the area to break through to hopefully see continuation. But breaking through it, and just breaking through it on its own, you need to break through it and get supported above it. And the way I like to trade isn't being supported above it on a 1 hourly. It would be on a daily is really what I'd like to see, and we certainly did not have that yesterday, and we were not going to get it by the looks of things maybe today. No other indicators to go by on the daily, so it's not very interesting. RSI coming all the way back down. MACD is very bearish, but it's still above the 0 point, and we're being supported at what appears to be on these bottom low moving averages. But again, it's an hourly chart. So for what it's worth, I think this has got more to go to back upwards again. I think it's likely to go back upwards again, but if Bitcoin comes down, this is going to come down, and it might actually come crashing down. We do have this descending trend similar to that of Bitcoin's, and if we were to come down to that, it would be pretty nasty. It would be coming back down to our Binance lows, which is around $1.26. So I don't think that's out of the question. I think we've got another run on this one before anything significant happens. I don't think Bitcoin's likely to crash today. I think if it does crash, it will be in next week that it does do that. And let's have a look at XRP. So our target for XRP is 28 cents, or 28.2 cents is my personal target. Now, I've been in and out of this quite a lot, and I haven't been in on it in the last couple of days, but I've done a lot of trades on it, and now what we're looking at here is for the move to continue up to this resistance level and then basically back off. So when we're talking about other levels of support and resistance, this is basically it, and it begins at 28 cents and ends just around about 31 cents thereabouts, and that's historically an area where we found ourselves being supported on for a very long time last year, and then even when we made more runs up to it, we were supported within that area. Breaking down beneath it is always pretty bad, so regaining this territory and turning this to support would be a really big deal for XRP. Don't think it's ready to do it yet. I think it needs to cool off a little bit before it makes that next step up, but that next step up is very important for it, because it means that not only has it recovered very fast, and also I would imagine that we'll have a decent spread of moving averages here, golden crosses, and just actually a very nice spread. It should pick us all the way up to into the high 30s without really much of a problem, maybe even up to 50 cents. You know, these things are very possible with this, and like I say, I believe that XRP has now turned a corner, and the reason for that is that we have had a descending trend similar to that of Bitcoin that went on for 2.5 years, consolidation, and we broke out of it. We spent a period of time accumulating, which took roughly from here to here 67 days. So that's pretty standard normal stuff actually, to see an accumulation of around that time. That's actually really good, and it's appropriate for it to accumulate amongst that. So it's basically 2 months worth of accumulation. That's perfect, and that's allowed the moving averages to kind of get closer and closer and closer, to the point now where we began a run, maybe a little too early, but we began the run anyway. And now I would say if we continue to remain above areas like 22 cents, ideally we'd want to stay above the 10 simple, but we'll see, because that's very steep. If we do come back down again, I think we'll probably break down beneath that and come down to one of these, the 200 or the 50 exponential. But anyway, it's going to take a significant crash to not get this golden cross now. Now the golden cross isn't the be all and end all. The golden cross is it's just a way of saying that moving averages are moving into a nice formation that's going to should have continuation bullish, provided that they're all above each other in the appropriate way, and on top of that they are facing upwards. So 28.2 cents, that would be my target, and then I pull back from there to bounce on one of these moving averages. Preferably, I'd like to see it come down a lot further, to be honest with you. I don't want to see it get supported on the 10 simple. I'd like to see it come down quite a lot, just to give the RSI time to get back into a nice area where we can then continue with a big move. So maybe come down, bounce, go sideways a little bit, and then push up into this resistance area, and then breaking above there, we could see 50 cent XRP with really not too much of an issue sooner rather than later. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a nice evening, and take it easy.